Quel fan de Star Wars n'a jamais tenu entre ses mains au moins une fois une célèbre figurine de la célèbre saga? Depuis les années 70, les fabricants Kenner puis Hasbro n'ont cessé de produire des centaines de personnages d'une dizaine de centimètres pour notre plus grand plaisir. Mais les années passent et les collectionneurs ont grandi, il fallait donc que les figurines en fassent de même.
The heritage of Star Wars has been 3 3/4 inch, right? But I think over the past, 15 years, we had seen kind of the rise of 6 inch in other brands. And so the team wanted to get into that for Star Wars as well. Obviously, Sam can speak more to this, but you're able to bring more of the character details to life. And there were conversations, and the Black Series kind of seemed like a cool name for the brand. So yeah, we launched it 6 years ago.
Mais alors, comment s'organise la fabrication d'une telle gamme de figurines? Commençons déjà par parler du choix des personnages.
We've got kind of good partnership with Lucasfilm, and obviously it's a mix of new entertainment and classic. So for the new entertainment, we sit down and we talk with Lucasfilm, and they kind of tell us a bit about what the new entertainment's about. They, recommend some characters that they think will be pretty prominent. We have a lot of consumer research, and so we're like, oh, well, we think this character could pop as well. So it's a good partnership there, and then we kind of fill out the waves with characters from classic entertainment. We've done a lot more from the prequels this year. Certainly the original trilogy is also popular. We go into comic books, as we're seeing in the convention item that we launched here in the EU. So we kind of start with them, we fill it out, and then certainly they're on board with kind of the final product for all of our waves.
Cependant, certains choix se sont révélés pour le moins étranges. Le cas le plus célèbre est le fameux constable Zuvio. Cet alien coupé au montage du Réveil de la Force a vu sa figurine produite des mois avant celle de Han Solo, Leia et Luke Skywalker pour ce même film.
It's foreshadowing to the Constable Zuvio trilogy that we'll see in the future.
So a lot of it really comes down to, again, because we work so far out, as we look at sort of the characters for that. I mean, Star Wars is really established on going so deeply into the tertiary. It's not just about doing the main heroes, it's having entertainment to go back and support and do all of those amazing creatures and background characters. I don't think the intent for Constable Zuvio was to be in a glimpse of a background scene as Rey and Finn run through the market, but in terms of initial prominence, he was always intended to be one of the more tertiary characters, but like a great background new alien form. So I think he even had like a Vanity Fair spread before the movie, so I was like, oh, this guy's gonna be great.
Yeah. It is interesting for Star Wars fans. They can kind of get a glimpse behind the scenes into how the movie changes, obviously, based on what is planned for the toy line 18 months before. Another thing we've mentioned is for our Rogue One line, Jyn Erso in Black Series form is Sergeant Jyn Erso. Obviously, in the movie, she's not part of the military hierarchy at all, so you can kind of see how the plans for that changed in the movie. It's part of the kind of balance we face. Obviously, we could just wait until the movie airs, right, and then put all of our product out a year and a half later, but we know that fans and kids kind of want product for the movie that's about to come out, and that's part of the whole experience. Yeah. So we take some risks in order to make that happen, but then some characters like Luke at the end of The Force Awakens, we didn't see anything on Luke until the movie aired, so we worked quickly to get that one out as soon as possible in 2017.
Maintenant que les personnages ont été choisis, place à la conception de leurs figurines, qui prend bien plus de temps qu'on ne pourrait le penser.
So generally, production time for a figure from concept to on shelf is between 12 to 18 months, depending on character complexity and sort of the entertainment it's built to support. So, for characters for new movies, as soon as we have kind of the assets, we'll usually start from a concept art stage and then move into movie assets once we start receiving images of the character turns, whether it be on or off set. Just getting an understanding of how the material actually sits on the actor that it's intended to be portrayed on, how color is intended to be seen both on and off screen, as well as into the nuances of different textures and materials that are used for the film.
Comme tous les objets technologiques, les figurines ont aussi évolué avec leur temps. Alors que certaines étaient peintes à la main dans le passé, Hasbro a frappé un grand coup en appliquant la technologie du photoréalisme numérique sur ses figurines.
Photoreal was awesome to bring to life because ultimately it was sort of the last of these like fundamental principles of toy manufacturing that really hadn't changed since we've been doing Star Wars figures for over 40 years. So by moving that to being something that's constructed as a digital file, it really aligned it to where we are with the sculpts. We're now, instead of just sort of trying to hand paint into sculpted detail, we're able to paint a face onto a digital sculpt in a digital environment and then print that face directly on. So it becomes a singular process versus being multiple steps in terms of something that's hand applied. But I think the other thing that was really nice was the amount of like shadowing and depth that we're able to get to the face, where instead of adding like 30 additional processes to the paint process to the face, we're able to do that all as sort of one seamless transition. So it really does a lot to drive a further level of depth into the face that we've ever done before.
From the fan point of view, we love photoreal because our figures were always good. We kind of took them from good to great with photoreal, but that was always, the face deco was always kind of the worst part about them. And I love how kind of Sam and his team took that worst part and turned it into now kind of the best part about our. We saw on a fan site recently kind of 2015 Ray versus 2019 Ray, and it's just completely different. So it's a great addition to the line.
Mais si cette technologie est facilement applicable aux acteurs lorsqu'ils tournent les films actuels, il n'en est pas de même pour ceux de la trilogie originale qui n'ont pas pu être scannés durant leur jeunesse. Hasbro fait alors appel à ses meilleurs talents pour que ces personnages aient le droit à la même qualité de traitement.
I mean, the biggest thing is really going to come down into the reference that's available to us. I mean, something that Lucasfilm always did a phenomenal job with was archiving kind of the original props, original sets, costumes, and of course, I'd say where the biggest challenge is presented is, as we sculpt characters like Harrison Ford, we have to do Harrison Ford 42 years ago. So, it's only based on the reference that's available from that time versus as we introduce a new character, there's so much more reference available for the actresses and actors, which a lot of it is because we can work from digital assets where we actually have digital scans of the characters or direct intended photo reference that's shot by the licensor.
Si la ressemblance des visages fut un challenge relevé haut la main avec cette nouvelle technologie, l'autre grand défi de la conception des figurines Black Series concerne un tout autre aspect.
I feel like it would almost be tethered around something with soft goods. Soft goods is always
Grievous.
interesting as we bring in, and Grievous was definitely a good example. A lot of it, because Grievous, you have this very stark difference in color between the interior of his cape versus the outside. We weren't able to do anything in terms of like printing that secondary color because the base color was so dark. So we actually had to double the material up so that he has a red inner cape with the like dark charcoal for the outer cape over that. Hoods are definitely one where it's challenging in terms of like getting like that perfect right fit, that it's not just sort of hovering over the character. I think one where the soft goods really saw a huge improvement was like on the Emperor Palpatine. The initial character had, just sort of the soft goods outer cape, but we refined the materials, refined the cut, and really had that sit more appropriately over the figure, did an updated soft goods lower skirt, and of course then finished it off with, the 3 swappable portraits, the alternate lightning hands, and much happier with the second release of that figure.
C'est maintenant l'heure du bilan. Avec une centaine de figurines au compteur dans la gamme Black Series, laquelle auriez-vous aimé améliorer aujourd'hui?
I think there's been a few cases where there's the opportunity to improve. Definitely Archive has been a great example of that, where again it's top choice characters within the line. And just, whether they receive photoreal or whether they're just sort of helmeted characters that we're just sort of getting back out there for, people that might have missed out on them in their initial release. I'd say the outliers in terms of figures I would like to improve over time, it's probably the ones that maybe start to deviate from things in terms of scale, like Leia Bouche was, Carrie Fisher is like 5'1". I think our Leia Bouche figure is like almost 6 feet tall. So it's definitely one where I would love to
She's
update
in disguise,
that figure.
she's
True. It's like a Power Rangers disguise.
And there's occasionally running changes. I think the one that's most prominent to me is Han Solo from Ep7. Like, came out first with, he looked like a much younger man, and then we running changed the hair the right color.
Aujourd'hui, la gamme Black Series est devenue un nouveau standard pour les collectionneurs de figurines Star Wars, et Hasbro ne compte pas s'arrêter là. Non seulement les produits s'améliorent d'année en année, mais la marque compte bien prendre en compte le contexte écologique actuel et prévoit de diminuer sa production de plastique, notamment sur les emballages de figurines.
Absolutely, yeah. So that was an announcement we were really proud of. Obviously, Hasbro as a company, our mission is to make the world a better place for kids and their families, and so obviously kind of environmental awareness is a huge part of that. We also hear from our consumers, like a lot of them, take the figures out of the packaging and they're like, there's a lot of plastic that I'm just throwing away.
Yeah.
So that was a really kind of great initiative on the part of our company. We're starting to phase it out in 2020, but it'll be complete by 2022. So we have a few years to figure it out, and we're looking at kind of a lot of different things. Whether that's right here we have a lot of our fan items already in closed box packaging, and that gives us great space to kind of display beautiful images of the product, which in some cases is just as good as seeing the product itself. So that's an option. We're also looking into kind of alternate plastic substances. So we're going down a lot of different avenues, but I'm confident we'll end up in the right place for the fans in the end.
Après plus de 6 ans d'existence, les figurines Black Series continuent toujours de remplir les étagères des fans de Star Wars, et de nombreuses surprises sont à venir dans cette gamme qui devrait encore ravir les collectionneurs pour de nombreuses années.